Hey, what's going on, world? This is the Eugene Hamilton Podcast, your new source for inspiration, motivation, hope, and encouragement. I promise you, you're in for a ride as each week we will dive deep into inspiring stories, transformative strategies, and actionable motivation that will take you to new and exciting levels. So let's get ready to laugh, reflect, think, and transform your life. This is Eugene Hamilton. Let's grow. Hey, what's going on, Grow Squad, and welcome to another episode of the Eugene Hamilton Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, where our sole focus is to go, to grow, and to glow every single day. That's right. Our aim is to go boldly, grow broadly, and to glow brightly every single day that we exist. That's called intentional living. And that's really called waking up in the morning and having a singular focus to impact the lives that cross my path every single day. And to help us along that journey, I got a couple of things I want to share with you real quickly. In fact, for those that have tuned in, thank you for being here. But analytics are showing us that about 88% now of you all have not subscribed. Man, I thank you for being here. I know I've got some information that will benefit and that will help your life. But in doing so, I want to invite you to subscribe, to like, go ahead and hit that bell so you can be notified every time we drop some new content, because again, we're not just dropping content because we don't have anything to do. I'm dropping content. I'm sharing with you my life experiences. I'm sharing with you motivation, information about everything from leadership to how to be a better husband, because I believe that what I have to share with you will help you move the needle. So one of the books that we are intentional about having, one of the books we're intentional about ensuring that we move forward and develop the habits that we need to become what we have been born to be is Atomic Habits. That's right. The book Atomic Habits, down in the show notes, you can click the link and get access today to that book, Atomic Habits, that will give you some secrets, some nuggets, some gems, how to do small things every single day and get big results. Did you hear what I just said? Yeah, you don't have to do big stuff every day to get big results. Some days you can do small things and compound them. And the end result is you'll get some magnificent, some big, I'm talking about results, and receive what you need to move forward. So don't forget, hit that link in the show notes. Also, I've got 3 books that I'm still giving away. If you stay around with me, I'll tell you at the end of our show today how you can get access to a free book, and that book is called Atomic Habits. As we move forward today, let me go ahead and pause and let's have a word of prayer. God, we thank you for a new day. We thank you for the air that we breathe. We thank you for the life that we live. We thank you that you have allowed us to connect in this way. And I pray for my friend right now who may be traveling to work. May they have an awesome day at work. I pray for my friend right now who may be staying home and helping out kids to move forward and to become what they were born to be. Give them the strength that they need to do just that. I'm praying for my friend right now who may have lost a loved one. Give them comfort. Give them peace. Let them know that your word is true, that you'll never leave them, and you surely will never forsake them. I pray for my friend right now who is facing some life choices, and they need to make the right choice. Give them that compass that they need to move forward in life and do the very best, not only for them, but for those that are depending on them to do the right thing. We pray it all in your name. Amen. Amen. Today, we want to push and shift the needle a little bit. And I want to share with you some critical ways that you can get over something that is kind of a buzz concept. Been around for a couple of years, but have you really dug into it and discovered and figured out if that's you or not? Today we're talking a little bit about the imposter syndrome. Hey, that's right. The imposter syndrome. Psychology Today did a study, and the research showed that about 70% of people experience the imposter syndrome at some point in their lives. Did you hear what I just said? 70%. Research say that 70% of people that are living and breathing on this planet called Earth, at some point in their lives, they experience imposter syndrome. Now, I definitely didn't want to give you a definition off the top of my head. I want to do some research and give you the actual definition of this term imposter syndrome. And according to Psychology Today, it's when individuals doubt their accomplishments and have a persistent fear of being exposed as a fraud. Despite evidence of their competence, people who suffer from the imposter syndrome, they often attribute their success to luck or timing rather than their own abilities. So hear me out. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine living a life where you have been receiving blessings, you've been working hard, you've gotten a promotion, you've gotten a pay raise, you've gotten to where you've worked hard to get, but you suffer from believing that you don't deserve the fruit of your labor? You suffer from, in fact, I've seen young people, a lot of my work is around the country dealing with both teachers and students. And I've seen individuals, maybe there's a teacher who has now become a teacher leader. Maybe there's a teacher who's now become an assistant principal. Maybe there's a teacher who's now become an instructional coach. And he or she will oftentimes look at me and tell me, do you think that I'm qualified for this? I'm like, I'm the last person, first of all, that you should be asking, do I think you're qualified? But since you asked, yes, you can do it. Since you asked, I believe you've worked hard. Yes. But there's so many people in life who have or who do suffer from this, and it doesn't just apply to work. There are people in their everyday lives who say to themselves, you know what? I don't deserve to be a parent. I don't deserve to be a son. I don't deserve to be whatever position they may hold at their nonprofit organization or in their free time, something that they're a part of. There are people who suffer from this in all walks of life. And oftentimes, individuals who suffer from imposter syndrome are people who work hard. There are people who come early and stay late. There are people who are super duper committed to the task of your company, or the task or the mission, I should say, of your school, of your organization. And sometimes oftentimes, in fact, this is one of those syndromes that if they don't tell you, you don't know they suffer from it. It's very difficult to tell that somebody is suffering from imposter syndrome, much like it's difficult to tell if somebody has some kind of terminal disease when they first receive the news from the doctor, because there are no outward signs in many cases. Individuals that suffer from imposter syndrome, if that's you, I want to, first of all, encourage you that you do work hard. I want to encourage you that you do deserve to be where you are. I want to encourage you. In fact, let me just break this down real quickly. I did a live the other day, and there are individuals who agree, who disagree. There are people who feel a certain way, and that's cool. In this year's NBA draft, the 2024 NBA draft, the second round, the 55th pick of the draft, you know who got drafted in the NBA. Who was it? Yeah, LeBron James Jr., a.k.a. Bronny James. Now, there are people, I guarantee you Bronny James does not suffer from imposter syndrome, right? I guarantee you Bronny James is an individual who believes that, hey, I've worked hard. And even if his father, an all-time great, is in position to help him get to where he is, it's not like Bronny James will sit down one day and say to myself, oh, wow, I don't deserve to be here. No, I'm just going to work harder to let you know I deserve to be here. And one of the things that happens in our lives, in fact, I remember when I first got attacked, I told you that in my prior career as a traditional church pastor, and in my denomination, you get moved around every so often. I remember I was 29 years of age, and they assigned me to the largest congregation, the largest African-American congregation in South Carolina. 29 years of age. And people were saying to me, oh man, what did you do? Who do you know? Now keep in mind, in my movement, in my denominational affiliation, at some point in time along the way, people did not get quote unquote bigger responsibilities unless they were married. I was unmarried. Unless they had a connection. I didn't have a connection. What did you do? I said, oh man, since you asked, and I wasn't shy about this. I said, since you asked, I didn't kiss up. I didn't laugh when it wasn't funny. I didn't do anything extra. I just put my head down in my prior assignment and I worked hard. Every goal that they told me that I had to reach, I blew it out the water, not because I'm special. In fact, let me share this with you. I've never been the most talented. I've never been the smartest. I've never been the strongest, but I've always been persistent. Yeah, and everything that I've done, whether it be sports, whether it be school, whether it be career, whatever it has been, I've never, ever been the smartest. I've never, ever been the most talented, the most gifted. But I pride myself on, if I'm ever given a task, if I've been ever given an assignment, I was persistent, I was consistent, and I worked hard. No, I did my best not to cut corners. In fact, I didn't want anybody to put me in position just because maybe I said the right thing, or maybe because I was on a certain committee, or maybe because I was connected to a certain group. No, don't do that. Let my work speak for me. Individuals who suffer from imposter syndrome are often individuals who have absolutely positively worked hard. They've persevered. They've gone through the fire. They've done the necessary training. They've got the degrees. They've got whatever is necessary. But there's three things that you've got to do if you struggle with imposter syndrome, and if you're saying to yourself, I don't deserve to be here. I somehow I got here just because of luck or timing or whatever that is. No. Number one, you got to reframe your thinking. If you're going to get over imposter syndrome and accept the blessings that are coming your way, accept the fruit of your labor, accept the fact that, hey, you've been grinding, you got it out the mud. If you're an individual who's going to get to a place where you learn to embrace everything that's coming your way because you've put the correct efforts in, you got to reframe your thinking about you. You got to practice. In fact, it's funny because my son, man, he gets up every day, and when I get him out of his bed, there's this huge mirror in the bedroom, and he just stands there with his hands by his side, and he just looks at the mirror. I'm like, what is this dude saying? What is going through his mind? What's going on? He just stands there for a few moments, and then before I tell him let's go downstairs, he'll stand there and he'll just smile. And I could just imagine to myself, this dude is probably at 3 years old in his mind, repeating positive affirmations to himself, saying to himself, I'm gonna have a good day. Probably saying to himself, I look good. I don't know what he's saying to himself, but it gives me hope for his life to look at him as he wakes up and he looks in the mirror. And even if it's internal, it appears to me that he's having a positive conversation with himself. When was the last time you had a positive conversation with yourself about yourself? No, real question, real deal. When was the last time you had a conversation with yourself about yourself and you didn't rehearse all the stuff you think you're bad at? Most times when I hear people talking to themselves, and I hear people talking to themselves quite a bit, just don't respond, but I hear people talking to themselves quite a bit. And oftentimes when I hear people talking to themselves, it's not good stuff. It's people talking about, oh, I made an error here. Oh man, I'm so stupid. And talking to themselves like do you realize that the power of life and death is in the tongue? You made an error on a document. You gonna call yourself, oh, I was so this. I'm so this. No. You got to remind yourself every single day before you get to that job, before you walk in that kitchen at your house, before you get on duty for the day, before you become wife, mom, husband, son, brother, before you become all of that, you are you. And you got to wake up in the morning and remind yourself that I'm powerful, I'm beautiful, I'm handsome, and this is not arrogance, but I've got gifts that the world needs today. Now, when I say world, I'm not saying that your gift is going to reach Asia today. I'm not saying your gift is going to reach the UK today. I'm not saying your gift is going to reach South America today. What I'm saying is whatever your world is for that day, you have a special, what Liam Neeson said, you got a special set of skills that the world that you have been assigned to for that day, the world needs. I'm encouraging you, I implore you to wake up every single day, and before you hear anything negative about you, now let's be honest. On any given day, we can hear something negative about us. Right? You're gonna walk into your job, maybe somebody's gonna turn their nose up at you. We hear negative stuff. In fact, I remember one time, the first time I ever heard someone use a racial slur. And it's funny because, not funny, but it's interesting because I'm from Louisiana. And of course, Louisiana is the deep, dirty South, right? Where there's lots of division, race division and so forth. But I didn't hear a racial slur directed at me until I left Louisiana. But the first time I heard someone hurl a racial slur in my direction, I laughed. Now, keep in mind, prior to age 21, there would have been nothing to laugh about, right? Prior to me getting to a place where I matured and I said to myself, people were, you know the little thing we say when we were little kids, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words, can't hurt me, will never hurt me, or whatever the saying is. But I do realize that words do hurt. I realize that's a cute saying. That's a saying that we really wish were our reality, but words do hurt. Now, prior to age 21, if someone had hurled or shared or said something derogatory with me, especially about race, I don't know if I would be a free man right now, right? But thank God this came my way. Check this out. When God knew I could handle it. And I laughed because I said to myself, he can't be talking to me. Because I had that morning, I had positively affirmed myself. That morning I had done my reading. That morning I had done my exercise. That morning I had already told myself, man, you're a powerful black man. And I'm saying to myself, when somebody came my way and basically was trying to strip me of who I know that I am, I was able to handle it as just words because I knew better. You got to reframe your thinking about you. You got to reframe your thoughts about yourself. The second thing you got to do if you want to overcome imposter syndrome, you've got to seek support and seek out mentorship. Yeah. You got to seek support from individuals who have your best interest at heart. You got to seek support from individuals who are trained, that can counsel you, that can dig. I know you think, and it's true, I know nobody knows you like you. But here's the funny thing. While nobody knows you like you, there's nobody that really sleeps on what they know about you like you. In other words, you can know you got skills, you can know you got talent, but oftentimes it takes somebody else to tell you, oh, you can sing. You should go up there and sing. Tell me I'm lying. Yeah, you know full well you've been singing since you were 3 years old, in the mirror, in the bathroom, in the backyard, right? You know you got skills. But it took another person, a second or third party, to tell you, oh, you could sing. Oh, wow. You should go on one of those shows. You should go in the choir. You should join this group. You should join that group. oftentimes, even when it comes to things that are not positive about our lives or things that we exhibit that are not positive about us, it takes another party to pull out the deeper meanings behind those feelings and to help us develop a plan to move forward to overcome and become better individuals because of the help that they have offered to us. So let me encourage you. I know it was taboo in my neighborhood growing up to talk about counseling, talk about getting support, talking about getting a mentor. Why? Because everybody was taught you got to stand on your own 2 feet, be a man, be a woman, don't get no help. If you need help, by all means, get help. And this is not a sponsored ad, right? But I've checked out BetterHelp, and I'm telling you to go check them out. Check out BetterHelp to see what support they can offer you. I promise you, whatever needs that you might have with regard to counseling and support, they've got everything that you need. Then lastly, if you want to really overcome the imposter syndrome and begin thinking well of yourself, I want to invite you to document and celebrate achievements in your life. One of the things that's powerful, man, I don't do it enough. My wife is awesome at documenting, taking pictures of every single thing. And in the moment, I don't appreciate it. In the moment, I'm like, oh, here we go. Another picture, another video. But when I look back, I was like, oh, man, my boy was just 18 months. Oh, man, almost brings tears to my eyes. Oh, man, thank you for taking that picture. Oh, wow. Thank you for having that vlog available. Oh, thank you for that reel. That, man, I would have lost this moment if it weren't documented. You need to document the things in your life that you've overcome, that you've accomplished, and the milestones you've reached. That will help you to stop second guessing yourself when a door opens that you think should be closed, or when something comes your way and you're like, oh, I don't deserve to be there. No, when you look back at your life and look back at your resume, you'll say, you know what? I did everything that I needed to do to get to this moment. Thank you, God, for opening that door. Can you open both doors? So number one, if you're going to overcome the imposter syndrome, reframe your thinking about you. Forget what they said. Forget what whoever else thinks about you. You need to reframe your thinking about you. Secondly, seek out mentorship, seek out support, seek out help. Individuals that can help you pinpoint, oh, this is why you feel this way. Okay, let's deal with that. You didn't deal with that. Let's unpack that pain point. Let's unpack that moment in your life that's making you feel the way you feel today. Let's do something about that. Then thirdly, document your journey. Document your path to greatness, and document your milestones. And thank you again for tuning in today. I really appreciate you joining me for today's show. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share this episode with somebody. In fact, people asking me all the time, man, why you want people to share? Because there are people that are in your world that I don't know yet. And they'll never get this message. They'll never get this podcast. They will never get this episode unless you share it with them. So thank you in advance for liking, for subscribing, and for sharing. In fact, if you still are interested in joining our book of the month is Atomic Habits. If you want to partake of the growth and development that's happening in the Growth Squad, and you want to be in line for, again, we're giving away three Atomic Habit books, giving them away for free. If you don't want the free book, that's fine. Down in the show notes, you'll find the link to help you order the book today. So don't forget, if you want to be in line for this, you got to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also send me a message on either of my platforms via direct message, letting me know how, in fact, this book will impact your life and what you need, what you think you'll gain from this book. You can also email me at EugeneHamiltonGroup@gmail.com. That's EugeneHamiltonGroup eugene@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to reach back out to you. Don't forget, as you move forward, as we end the show today, our goal is to be intentional about going, growing, and glowing every single day. All right, that's my time. Y'all go be great. Peace.